Okay, so after putting about 6 hours into this game across the Phantom Liberty expansion and the Cyberpunk 2.0 update, I genuinely think that CDPR might have just redeemed themselves. What do you think? Let's talk about it. Now before you guys come at me saying that I'm gushing over this game and the new update and expansion, let me explain. I do these gaming discussion videos, reaction videos, and impression videos as a fan of these games, because at the end of the day, gaming is the hobby. And Cyberpunk 2077 has been one of my favorite games of all time, right? And CDPR has been one of my favorite game devs since The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, with the fantastic expansions that they delivered on The Witcher 3, which was Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. How could you not love CDPR? Rewind back to 2020. CDPR released their most ambitious new IP, Cyberpunk 2077. Unfortunately, it had a horrible release. It was so bad that PlayStation removed the game from the PS Store. That gives you a clear indication as to how bad this game was. Right now, I did not complete this game. I stopped playing it like 6 months ago, but I came close to the completion of the game, but I just stopped playing because the bugs are getting worse. Nevertheless, Cyberpunk 2.0 drops as well as the new expansion. I got it, updated the game, and I went in, and man, this game just blew me away. And I think playing 6 hours right into the new update and the expansion, I feel like CDPR finally materialized this game into the vision and ambition, and the ambition that they had back in 2020 when the game first released. Because we know at launch there were many things missing from the game that they marketed as, and it was missing and it's inexcusable, but it took them 3 years to get it right, and they finally did, man. So to me, this is a step in the right direction for them to regain the trust and faith of many gamers and fans of them. This is a step in the right direction. Now let's talk about the Cyberpunk 2.0 update. They've overhauled a lot of systems here. They've introduced a lot of systems and features that should have been in the game since launch. We finally have the new NCPD police system in the game. The NCPD, they are everywhere. You can see it on your minimap. You'll see a lot of blue dots. They are in Darktown, they are in Night City, they are everywhere, right? Which is great. There is that authority figure as well as the wanted level, the NCPD wanted level. So depending on your wanted level as well, different types of NCPD units and vehicles could be chasing you in order to apprehend you. That's pretty awesome. Is that not awesome? That is what we were missing from the game. Now, in my 6 hours so far, I haven't crossed the NCPD yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Finally, we have vehicle combat. Finally, and I thought that it was so wild that there was no vehicle combat back in 2020 when the game first released, because the vehicle designs in this car shows that there should be mounted guns on. Now we have vehicles that have mounted guns, and you can finally fire your weapon, your ordinary weapons, from your car. Whereas previously it was tied to cutscenes or particular missions, and you could not do that. You had to get out of the car to shoot them. Now you can do so freely, and the vehicle combat is a lot of fun. There's also skill trees that are tied to the vehicles for certain skills and perks, which is pretty awesome. Talking about skills and perks, man, they completely revamped the skill tree and the perk system. So when you continue from where you left off after the update, you will be refunded with all your perk and attribution points, and you'll have the opportunity to assign them according to the build that you want. Now, there are fewer perks. What I've noticed is there are fewer perks, but these perks have a more profound impact on the actual gameplay. And to me, this leans into and it favors more the replayability of the game. So for my first playthrough, I could go with a complete tank build, and in my second playthrough, I could go with a complete stealth build, or a mixture of the two, you know. So that is great for replayability of the game. They've also introduced this new progression shard system for attribution shards, cyberware capacity, carrying capacity, which is pretty cool. And these shards you can acquire throughout the world by looting taking out enemy AIs and so forth, doing gigs and all that. It's pretty awesome. So you just gotta look out for loot, man. Talking about Cyberware, they completely overhauled the Cyberware system as well. Finally, Cyberpunk is reminiscent of the Netflix series Edge Runners. They've added a threshold onto character V as to how much cyberware you can implant or install, whatever you want to say. How far you can upgrade is all dependent on your cyberware capacity, which can increase if you do upgrades and if you acquire those progression shards, which is pretty interesting because in the base game we saw from the series as well as doing the cyber psychosis contracts was that USV, the cyberware, had no effect on you, and it took away of the immersion because we also wanted that sort of element there to be as well, that there's some sort of consequence, and the only consequence we really had was that of the relic. Now talking about the relic, when you start the Phantom Liberty expansion, there's a new skill tree that opens, which is the relic. It's a smaller skill tree, but it opens up a lot more creative gameplay loops, man. It's pretty awesome, right? So they've added a lot of things. They've improved the enemy AI, they've improved the driving AI, even the driving AI of traffic vehicles, and that they've improved a lot. It's a long list of things that I don't want to go through here because I want to keep this video short and sweet, right? With that being said, let's go to the Phantom Liberty expansion. Man, the intro of this game alone, it took me about 2 to 3 hours. And I am playing on the hard difficulty or video, and I need to double check that. Man, the intro of this game is mind-blowing. It will have you hooked instantly. Oh man, it's so good. And of course, Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves is back, man. In this game, in the expansion, you still have the dialogue to either be an ass to him, to continue being an ass to him and disagreeing with him, or you could take the approach that I took, because it's literally been 3 years in real time where you agree with everything with him, and Johnny Silverhand and V forms this type of bro romance, right? And it feels organic because it's literally been 3 years in real time. So it's like seeing an old friend, you know, like an old buddy, and it really feels organic how they are bonding. There's an ensemble cast of new characters such as the President, which is pretty badass, Songbird, and then of course you have Idris Elba. Man, dude steals the show whenever he's on the camera. And yo, I must say, CDPROJEKTRED built this man like a tank. Holy shit, he is intimidating whenever he's on the screen. I will say, however, and I have to be honest, his accent is a bit problematic for me. Like you can hear the British accent is trying to come through, you know. But yeah, it's a minor problem. But either way, when he's on the screen, he steals the show, man. He honestly steals the show. Now, this game introduces more gigs to do. It introduces new characters, but the main part is Darktown. And Darktown looks absolutely awesome. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Mega City 1 in Judge Dredd from 2012 with Carl Urban. Do yourself the favor and go and watch that movie. Go and watch that movie, and then you come back and play the Phantom Liberty expansion. It is so much reminiscent of that environment. It's exactly the same. Just do yourself the favor and actually go watch it. Darktown looks absolutely great. That Darktown itself, the city that is part of Pacifica, is sort of a character in the game on its own. It's a rundown, loneless, drug-filled, chaotic city, you know, that is run by this guy called Kurt Henning something, and he calls all the shots. So this game is much like a spy thriller. You become a secret agent, sort of like a secret agent, special agent, investigating whether or not there's an inside mole and so forth. I don't want to give too much spoilers. Now let's talk about performance real quick. Yes, the game has been, the performance of the game has been much improved. I'm currently running this game on an i5 13600KF with a 3070 Ti and 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM at 1440p ultra settings. DLSS is enabled to quality mode with ray tracing off, and I'm getting roughly between 54 to 60 FPS. There are some tips when it comes to cutscenes. There are some tips there, but I think this is due to me running OBS at the same time while recording gameplay. I did notice that when I put OBS off and I'm just playing the game, performance improves a lot. So bear just in mind that if you are recording gameplay with OBS and playing the game, it's going to hit performance. Without OBS on, I was getting a solid like 59 to 65 FPS. Sometimes would even go to 70, 71 FPS. I do think that you do not need ray tracing on this game because this game looks absolutely amazing at 1440p ultra settings. Unless you're running a 3090 or 4090, a really high end card, I would say enable ray tracing. You could probably get away with 1080p with all ray tracing and that enable to get a solid 60 FPS. I'm not too sure about that, but from my experience, I'm getting a solid smooth experience. I can't complain. So they have improved in that department. Yeah, like I said, it's a step in the right direction. The game is very flashy, it's very cinematic, but the game does not overdo it. To me, the game does it just right, whereas many other games, they take that flashiness and that cinematicness of the game too far, that you're just sitting there with the controller in your hand waiting to push a button. Here, I think CDPR just nailed it. It's just the right amount of flashiness and cinematics, because you still feel in control of the game, you feel in control of the world. It's literally the way you want to play it, and that is awesome. Yeah guys, I think that this is a step in the right direction for CDPR. Hopefully this continues. We know that the next game is a new Witcher, and they're teaching the Red Engine, which is kind of mind-boggling because they just mastered the Red Engine, I believe. So I'm not sure why they would abandon it, but at the same time it's bittersweet because the devs have confirmed that Phantom Liberty will be the only and last expansion to the Cyberpunk universe. So, and after playing the Cyberpunk expansion for a bit, as I'm continue playing it, I want more of this world. I just want more of it. The gameplay loop is so excellent. I just want more of this world. Unfortunately, it's the last expansion, and with the base game and with the bit that I've played of the expansion, I'm about 96 hours in, and I can easily see me replay this game and put another 96 hours into the game or more. I do understand if people do not want to jump right back into this game because they feel that they were wrong and they were burnt, and rightfully so, man, because in 2020 what we got, many gamers were burnt, myself included. But this is a step in the right direction, because I know in the gaming industry today, we as gamers have been burnt and wronged too many times. It's like a trend these days. But I do highly recommend Cyberpunk 2.0 with the Phantom Liberty expansion. It is definitely worthwhile. And it's crazy that a game from 2020 is one of the best games in 2023. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts. Are you going to play the game? Are you going to replay it? Are you going to get the game? Are you going to consider jumping back into the game? Have you forgiven CDPR? Can you forgive them? But yeah, like I said guys, I do these videos as a hobby. At the end of the day, gaming is the hobby, man. So I do appreciate the interaction and the feedback. So keep it coming, man. As always, I gotta love and leave you guys. Stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the next video. Rampage out. Peace.